Rainbow Kart Attack, a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Esports tournament with a Rainbow Road theme. This event is meant to unite the LGBTQIA community. It's meant to bring these people together during the month of June, which is Pride Month, because they're going through a particularly hard time now with the current political climate in the United States of America. So that was part of the inspiration for this event. Now, people who are adults and people who are generally old enough to remember the different Mario Kart games for various different consoles throughout, the 90s, early 2000s, up to the present day, those are going to be the people who appreciate this the most. And I'm suggesting that everyone is at least 18 years or older because, some some themes may be discussed among people that are considered adult, even though I don't personally believe that discovering your own identity among these acronyms is really necessarily an adult theme, but it can be, and that's something we should take into account here. Now, this will be done during Pride Month. It'll be done during the month of June in 2024 at Legacy Gaming Community because legacy gaming and older consoles is kind of something this place normally has. This is a good venue to hold tournaments in general. It's a good thing to go outside of events and see what things they offer. They offer a lot of things, and the older gamers, people who appreciate older systems, will appreciate whether this event is happening or not. It has good internet. It's in the month of Washington rather than Florida or Missouri, which may be a problem for some transgender people for certain reasons, which I will not get into with this presentation right now. Um, but yes, so a lot of care has been thought. The seating, when you're going to have auditorium or theater seating, a lot of people should be able to fit. It should be efficiently packed, but hopefully it won't be so crowded that people will be able to socialize, move around, stretch their legs. There may be vendors that may be selling some food. That's accounted for in a later slide. And with staffing, I have a lot of thoughts. There might be a need for more staffing than what I thought of, but I think that at least two stream managers, two security guards, and two commentators, as well as two miscellaneous staff to handle various things, making sure everything's connected right, making sure that everything just flows smoothly as people enter and make sure things are just working. Clean up any major messes that occur, that kind of thing. Okay, and then in these coming slides, I have some basic budget things. I've tried to consider the, a fair price to pay the staffing, but I also wanted to consider having some prizes, and you might notice my prizes, I'm not sure. And it is a lot given away in prizes, which is where the bulk of the expense of this event would come from. But I'm hoping that these high prize values will encourage a lot of people to want to come and compete and play. And I'm hoping that will help us generate a lot of revenue. That's my plan anyway. I've considered the equipment that needs to be considered in this event. There might be more, but I really have thought carefully about how this would work. Now, it's hard to know what the starting budget. I'm going with an estimate of $60,000 as a starting budget, even though the event the expenses are probably just under 21,000. So hopefully it won't cost as much as I estimate, and hopefully we will actually sell a lot of tickets and have more vendors and Twitch donations and sponsors that will help make this a more profitable rather than costly event because I've spent a lot more time on the cost of this event than the income that it would generate. And that's something that I feel is my failure in inexperience, but that's just the reality of the situation. And then there's some things I was considering about vendors and the food they bring. Although I want vendors to have free reign to sell what they want, I feel like reaching out to vendors and contacting them would be something I would do. to have ones that are free of certain allergens, some of them that I mentioned. And a lot of these are good because it makes it more vegan for people like me who are vegan, but also just avoiding allergens in general because some people have certain allergic reactions or other health problems that are caused by consumption of these products. So a lot of care needs to be taken into the kind of food that's sold at these events, if any food is sold at all. But I think having vendors is an important thing. So there probably would be food if we placed this, if we actually do this event. And then of course sponsors need to be considering, their connection with the LGBTQIA community. See, this could either boost their company's reputation for being inclusive, but it could also lead to certain groups boycotting them, as has been done with Bud Light and Target, which I mentioned here. So a company or any sponsor that is connected with this event, they need to be careful about how this affects their reputation. Do they want to be seen as an inclusive company? But also, do they want to have the risk that people stop buying their products because they see them as supporting something that isn't good, even though it is a good thing? And then, we'll be streaming this event to Twitch and, of course, uploading it to YouTube and other social media. And I'm hoping that this can be one of the major revenue sources. I'm hoping that there will be Twitch subscriptions, there will be a lot of hype leading up to the event, previews and talks about it that will lead to people subscribing to a Twitch channel where this will all be talked about prior to the event. During the event, it will be streamed, and afterwards, we can still be talking about what happened at the event. We may be able to get the players who won, get them to give some speeches on the Twitch channel about how they felt during the event, have some interviews going on, so we can keep having this event be a big feature even after it's officially over. And then, of course, there's some basic rules. Basic rules, we don't want drugs or alcohol. We don't want to distract the players, We're going to be doing a tiebreaker stage of Moo Moo Meadows. Although that's up for debate. That's just my own personal preference because it's the cow level. And I want everyone to be at least 18 years old for this event. And the security guards will have to remove people who are violent, bringing weapons and alcohol and drugs that lead people to do horrible things. And of course, we're going to get cheaters removed from the competition. But it's very hard to cheat on a Nintendo Switch console, especially in a racing game. And there may be other risks, but I haven't thought of any. But I did think of some risks. But mostly I'm only worried about violence because of the things some people may do. And of course, these are the stages picked out, and the 3DS Rainbow Road stage with Moon Cup is actually part of the downloadable content, which is of course something I have already purchased on my own Nintendo Switch console, which could perhaps be used in the event itself. And in the conclusion of this, I would just like to consider that this is my first event, and I very much welcome any constructive criticism that somebody may bring about how we could reduce expenses, how could we increase revenue. Is there any rules that I haven't considered yet that should be considered? So I'm open to the feedback that anybody else has about this event, how it could be done. But as a student coming up with an event, I'm actually very proud of myself, and I feel like given the right planning, given the right preparation, and the right funding, this event could be something that everyone will remember because nobody, as far as I'm aware, has ever tried to have an esports event that specifically is dedicated to all the colors of the rainbow, just like all the colors of people. And the LGBTQIA community is definitely all about inclusivity. And I really want my event to reflect that. So, thank you for listening to my presentation and consider what has been said here and also how this event might be improved even beyond what I have stated here.